Gen Con is right around the corner, so what games should you play or demo there? Well, let's find out my picks coming up. First up, we have MistWind, a lightweight Euro with pickup and deliver mechanics, resource management, and worker placement. You are using flying whales to move around the board, pick up different resources, and drop them off at different locations. In order to move your whales, you must feed them fish. You're also going to build different outposts to help move your whales across the board. Basically, the players are trying to make different routes with their whales and outposts to connect all the different locations around the board together, so it's easy for them to pick up different resources and drop them off at different locations. There's also going to be different public and hidden objectives that players are trying to accomplish throughout the game in order to score points. Now, what makes MistWind really unique is the worker placement element also in this game, because this is what's going to determine how you get your resources, what different actions you can take during the round, get some special different bonus abilities as well. There are 4 different columns or rows around the game board that have different actions like gaining resources, building more stuff, having different abilities, or even like objectives that you're trying to complete, things like that. And they're listed 1 to 5 in each column, and each player are going to have these different discs that are listed 1 to 5, and those discs are the worker placement element in the game because you're going to be placing them in those different rows or columns, and if you take the number 1 spot, that means another player can't place their 1 disc in that spot. They have to pick between the other 3 rows or columns that are available. Now, I've actually played this game multiple times. I've really enjoyed it. I love the artwork. I love the mechanics involved in it. It's not a simple pick up and deliver game. It actually feels more like a resource management game because you can have those explosive turns, do multiple things, and there's tons of ways to score points. It's a super fun game, and I can highly recommend this one. It will also be coming to Kickstarter fairly soon. I believe August 8th it will be dropping. So I'll have a link for that if you guys wish to check that out in the description box down below. Now let's move on to the next game. DeadCells, the roguelike board game. Why check this one out? Well, for one, it is a fast style dungeon crawl game that actually only plays in like 45 minutes, and it's based off a popular video game, if you haven't heard of it before. But it's got some pretty good reviews, so it's definitely worth checking out. It's a pretty cool cooperative game where no matter if you die, you keep your upgrades and mutations for your characters every time you play, or just reset and start a new game. If it looks interesting to you and you missed the Kickstarter, check it out at GenCon. They'll be demoing it, and you can still sign up for a late pledge. The Four Horsemen, a cooperative resource management and deck building game where players take up the mantle of a legendary hero to prevent the end of the world. Players will also face off against a main enemy, and they will need to utilize their following to stop the catastrophic events. They also need to acquire different relics and delay the final ride of the Four Horsemen. Now, this game has been popping up all over my social media. I love the artwork, I love the mechanics that it's offering, a different twist on Four Horsemen, which I find fascinating. And if you get a chance to play it, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below because it looks really cool. Now, if that game seems a little bit too dark and you're bringing the family along to Gen Con, then you gotta check out this next game by Kid Table Board Games. And that is Diced Veggies, a game where the dice is food and you must cut them in a certain way to complete your recipes. Now, how this game works is pretty much the dice are representing different vegetables, and that is based off the color of the dice, and they're placed in this frame to form a different rectangular shape, and players are going to be taking different turns cutting into that shape to take away dice to try to complete the recipes. But not only does the color matter, but the number on the dice also matters. There's certain rules that come into play when you go to cut the dice. Like, for an example, you must always cut on the outside of that rectangle shape, and you can never take more than a 10 value dice piles. For example, if 2 dice add up to 11, you cannot take those dice because it is more than 10. So the dice that you take always have to be 10 or less. It looks like a super simple, fun family game for sure. It's what Kids Table does best. They have tons of great family games. I don't know if this one's going to be available to purchase, but it's definitely going to be available to demo and should be hitting retail stores soon. Now, sticking to dice-themed games, you should check out Chip Theory's booth that's going to be at Gen Con because they're also going to be demoing 20 Strong, a solo dice game where you have to manage your dice in order to defeat waves of enemies. Each enemy will have a unique effect on it, and it's a puzzle to solve how much dice you should use, how much you should manipulate your dice in order to continue. There's also different hero cards that you're going to be using through the game, each one having their very own unique ability, how they're going to hit, how they can defend against certain card effects, things like that. And the goal of the game is, well, one, survive from those waves of different enemies, but ultimately defeat the different bosses that are available in the game. Now, I don't know about you, but that definitely sounds like a fun time to me, especially if you are a solo player. Also, there'll be some other goodies to check out at Chip Theory's booth, so if you're there, check out 20 Strong. Perseverance Castaway Chronicles Episode 3 and 4 by Mindclash Games. A game that is continuing the story from the shipwreck that has crashed on an island with giant dinosaurs. Episode 3 will take a new approach to the game, where players are going to be focusing on engine and tableau building using city landmarks that will provide them with powerful passive abilities. Players will also have the ability to build and customize their own ranches on their player board. Now, what's also really cool about Episode 3 is the fact that players are going to have the chance to learn and tame dinosaurs, so they're able to ride them, and that sounds super fun. But not much is really known about Episode 4, except for the fact that it's probably going to conclude the story, and I believe it's going to be, they mentioned something about a sinister twist, so very interested to figure that out. If you're a fan of Mindclash Games, Perseverance is definitely a game worth checking out. It's a heavier style Euro game with a lot of rules, but if you like dinosaurs, this is definitely a great game for you. Now, moving away from dinosaurs, we have another game that's also based off a very popular IP video game, and that is Call of Duty, the board game by Arcane Wonders. Players will get to choose from different characters that they would like to play as, such as Ghost Kelly or Captain Price. They're going to be able to select from their favorite weapons and items, build and customize a combat deck with your own signature tactics, and then jump right into the action. Each round, players will make tough choices as they are trying to secretly and simultaneously play the actions to reach the goal and capture the flag. Now, that's actually only one game mode that this game has to offer. I do believe there's others, but it does look like there is a programming mechanic involved where there is a main player board that players are going to be kind of playing on, but the action that they're going to be doing are based off their hidden map that they have hidden behind a screen to determine what they're going to do, and they can't see what the other players are going to do. So they have to kind of plan out their moves, maybe choose to throw a grenade out a window or something like that at a certain time, and hopefully hit their opponent if they think they're going a certain route. So the game definitely offers that intense combat where you're not too sure what your opponent's going to do, but you have to do your best to guess, or either just try to run and gun and try to get the flag as fast as possible. From what I heard and seen from the game, it does seem like it is a lot of fun to play. I have not played the video game myself. I just never had a chance to play Call of Duty. I was more of a Halo guy myself, to be honest. So I'm not too sure how close it will feel like the video game, but it's definitely getting some good buzz. So check out Call of Duty if you're a fan and you're going to be at Gen Con. JoyRide, Survival of the Fastest, a fast-paced 2 to 4 player racing game in which you do whatever it takes to beat your opponent, whether that is through skillful driving, weaving your way around the track, or by bashing into your opponents in order to claim a victory. Now, just like any good racing game, this game is going to be filled with crazy items such as landmines, oil spills, rockets, tons of things to stop other players from winning. It does promise high player interaction, which sounds great. There's a great big board that the cars are going to be racing around, these different gates. Looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be going to Kickstarter sometime this year, I do believe. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Check out JoyRide, Survival of the Fastest. Now, if you're into trading card games, then you probably have heard this next one that you should definitely demo by Fantasy Flight Games, and that is the new Star Wars Unlimited. A fast-paced and dynamic card game that allows both easy to learn and strategic deep gameplay. Fill your deck with heroes and villains from all over the Star Wars galaxy. Now, the game is also like other trading card games where you're going to have a deck of 50 cards and you're going to be using those cards to defeat an opponent. You're also going to have your very own unique leader card that you're going to be using through the game. If you're a Star Wars fan, this might be something worth looking into. If you're looking for something a little bit more faster paced and it's more of a deck building style game, then I highly recommend to check out Star Wars, the deck building game. With that being said, let's move into my final game, which is a game you should definitely try out, and that is going to be Ticket to Ride Legacy, Legends of the West. Players will embark on a 12 journey across North America in the 19th centuries as pioneers. The campaign begins on the East Coast and players are going to work their way to the West from one adventure to the next, meeting different challenges along the way. In classic Ticket Ride fashion, you're going to complete different tickets as your primary goal, but you will need to develop other skills and hope to overcome your rivals. As the story progresses, players will open new frontier boxes that will unlock new rules, content, and so many more surprises. Now, who doesn't love Ticket to Ride? I honestly don't know. It's a fantastic game. Very simple, easy to teach. There are tons of different expansions for it, and this seems like it's going to be a great addition to the game. Now, let me know what games you guys are looking forward to check out at Gen Con in the comment section down below. And if you want to hear more about my top 10 favorite games of all time, check out this video right here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.